Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. My name is Kyle Brown. I'm with ZEISS Sports Optics. We want to share with you the Conquest V4 1-4x24 with external elevation turret with ballistic stop and locking system, and with the ZQAR reticle. Today we're going to show you how to sight in and zero this rifle scope, and I think you'll like it. If you like what you just saw downrange, you got to prepare at the range. So we have a very dynamic rifle scope on top of a dynamic rifle, fast shooting, rapid environments, multiple targets at multiple distances, and that's when we chose the rifle scope and weapon package that we did. So now it's time for the initial steps of getting this sighted in. Keep in mind, because it's a 1-4, every click equals half-minute click value. And we'll go ahead and zoom in to maximum magnification. And we've already taken our fast focus diopter and we've adjusted it for my eye. So at this point, we're ready to get some rounds down range and then see what kind of adjustments we need after that. So we've already loaded the magazine. Going to go ahead and get the safety glasses and hearing protection on, and we're going to get a few rounds down range. I'm going to aim at the lower orange bullseye target. Okay, we've identified our group downrange. Now all we need to do is adjust our reticle to that group itself. So what we're going to do is look through the rifle scope while holding the rifle nice and steady. Again, this can be a little bit tricky. Sometimes it's helpful if you have someone adjust the turrets for you while you're holding the rifle. But you want to go back to the original point of aim carefully, keep it aimed steady, and make your adjustments on this scope, elevation and windage, to intersect the reticle dead center of the original group. That'll save you a lot of time, energy, and frustration, and a lot of ammo. Unlock the turret, going to the original point of aim, adjusting the click value on elevation, and now we're adjusting the click value of windage. I made the initial adjustments. Let's see what it does on paper. Let's get the safety glasses on, ear protection, load up the magazine, and with Lady Luck on our side, we should be close to our aiming point. Lowest orange bull downrange. Well, we should be closer to our bullseye. Let's take a look and see where we're at. Well, I'm looking through the little 1-4 power, and on 4 power, it looks like our group is right where it's supposed to be. That's an indication that the turrets track true and are accurate. And so our next step now, if we're satisfied that we're at bullseye, our next step is to index this turret to 0 and set the ballistic stop. So on the windage, all we want to do is pull out till we'll rotate freely and let it index back to its 0 marking. Because that was so simple, we got that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and put the cap back on it. Now we're going to go to the elevation turret. Now this is where I would encourage you to be patient, keep your work environment clean, and if the wind is blowing or if you're out in the field environment that it's not easy to set, I would go ahead and lock this down right where it's at, and I would set your ballistic stop in an environment that's more conducive to mechanical, instead of out in where it's high winds or starting to rain on you. So again, you want to keep your work environment manageable and clean, because you're about to engage in the mechanics of the elevation turret. Okay, so if you notice, in our unlocked position, we were at 15.5 minutes. But that's not going to help us. Even though we've got a nice 0 at where we want to be, we've got to find a way to get to our index to 0. We got to bring our 15.5 back around to 0. How are we going to do that and set the stop as well? That's what we're going to do right now. First things first is we'll take the wrench that came with the rifle scope. We'll insert it into the top elevation turret top screw, and we're going to go ahead and loosen that. Once we loosen that, we'll keep in mind this is already pushed down, so it's in the lock position. We're going to go ahead and loosen this, turning it counterclockwise until it's completely loose, and we can remove it. We're going to set it down on a clean surface, take our wrench, set it down on a clean surface. We're going to now lift up on our turret without making any clicks. Notice how we just did that. Now at this point, you could set this turret aside, this turret cap aside. And now here's the mechanical feature right here called the ballistic stop. And now we're going to remove the ballistic stop bucket. And as we've done that, you'll notice that the base of the ballistic stop turret has a vertical pin down here. It stays stationary. The ballistic stop bucket itself has a horizontal pin on the ballistic stop bucket, and as it rotates in the clockwise position, it will bump up against that vertical pin and create the stop. So we have a nice metal on metal, a nice mechanical stop assembly. So here's where you want to be patient with your ballistic stop while you're setting it. As you have the bucket out, you want to ensure that the horizontal pin stops on the clockwise face, going clockwise. It'll stop on the clockwise face of the vertical pin. Once we've assured we've done that, now it's time to put our top turret cap back on and index it to 0. So we've got our 0 indexed here, and we've got our 0 index marker here. We'll simply be patient, slide this on, assuring a good index to 0 right there. We'll take our top elevation turret top screw, start it by hand, take the tool that ZEISS provided with you for the turret, a T20, go ahead and in the push down / lock position, notice we maintained our index to 0. We'll go ahead and tighten this until we meet initial resistance. Now that we've met initial resistance, you want to be careful and go ahead and turn it about a 1/16 to perhaps an 1/8 of a turn, just snug enough. If you don't get it tight enough, it could slip in the field under use. If you get it too tight, rest assured you're going to break it. If you break it, don't worry, give us a call at customer service. We have the right way to coach you through it and replace that turret screw if you prefer. Now sometimes you may feel like you need more elevation travel to go down or up. However, the turret itself is actually stopped. It won't give you any more up, and it won't give you any more down, so you think you're out of travel. Don't fret, you're not out of travel. Again, you're up against the ballistic stop. This is a single turn turret because it's about 40 minutes of travel, and we don't envision anyone using about 40 minutes of travel in a ZEISS in any 1-4 rifle scope. So that being said, if you do need more elevation travel in the down or up position, if you're up against that ballistic stop, it's a very simple process. Loosen the top screw, remove the turret cap, adjust the ballistic stop bucket to the opposite side of the stop pin, put the turret screw back on, and you can adjust all of your travel. You have about just a little over 100 minutes of travel in the 1-4, so there's plenty of travel to get sighted in and zeroed in and get your ballistic stop set. So there's plenty of travel in this. If you're running into trouble with this, also feel free to look on our ZEISS Conquest V4 owner's manuals where we cover this extensively. This rifle scope is now ready to go and ready for the field. Quick adjust on the fly, lock, unlock, set it back to your ballistic stop, lock it again. We're ready to roll, guys. And if you'd like to find out more detailed information about this scope or any other products from ZEISS Sports Optics, please be sure to visit our website.